And when others try to reach to us, we can also be willing to learn. Thank you for all your blessings. Stay with us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, so even though this honor only has 4 parts, it's a little bit long. But you might all be familiar with the different types of terminology that we need to go over. Sorry? I think it's okay right now. Everybody can hear me, yes? Thumbs up? All right. This is a level 2, and this is a requirement for the companions on the outreach, okay? They have to take this, only the 3 parts to complete their requirement, but if we do the up to the end, then they can get the honor to get their advanced requirement, all right? Define culture and cultural diversity. Anybody would like to tell me what does culture mean? Just like really in a very simple way. I think everybody more or less knows, yeah? Culture will be all these little things we have, arts and crafts.
¿No see this password?
Huh? Sorry? Oh. We have all kinds of items that will define a culture, right? Sounds that the Indians made back in the time of whatever, the history, all that kind of stuff, it defines a culture in a place. The habits, the costumes, and the arts that characterize a particular society or nation. But cultural diversity, the word diversity means it's not all the same, yeah? So the diversity part is a variety of human societies or cultures in a specific region or in the whole world, okay? So there has to be a variety to have a diversity. If everything is the same, then there's no variety, there's no diversity. And we're trying to study diversity. We are to also talk about stereotype. A stereotype is something that is in the news a lot, yeah? A lot of people think that, oh, that person is about to attack me, but really it's just a stereotype. You think that because maybe the movies, maybe people tell you that if you see someone on the street and you walk in there and there's nobody there, most likely you're gonna be mugged, okay? So in our mind, we already prepare ourselves to believe that. But that person could just be on the phone talking to someone else, just like we are walking by ourselves in the street and there's no danger. We don't know that. We just make that assumption. We think we know. It's what we think we know, but we don't know. Okay, so that's a stereotype. And I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt that because you see someone, you thought they did that or they will not learn that? Anybody? Raise your hand if you ever had a preconceived idea of someone just because of what you saw or what you heard. Yeah, right? It's very common. There's nothing nothing that is out of the ordinary. I think that we as human beings, with all the TV we watch sometimes, all the shows that show us to be careful with this, be careful with that, or pay attention to this and that, maybe you'll get something good if you do this. We're like overwhelmed with thoughts that might not even exist. Danielle, are you trying to say something? Can you unmute yourself, or are you all muted by the host? Because everybody's muted.
They've all unmuted themselves.
Are they all unmuted? I see all muted. Okay. If you have anything to say, just raise your hand, unmute yourself, and I would love to hear from you, okay? Okay. So that's stereotypes. And sometimes we assume that ladies will know how to sew and knit. And most of us, we do, right? Because we learn from our mothers. But not everybody does that. Some women don't even know how to cook until the day they die. The husband did all the cooking. So we cannot assume anything. We need to get to know people. And that's what this honor is all about, getting to know people from somewhere else that is not from your country of birth or a country that, like I was born in Chile all the way until I was 12. And then my father got a call to work as a pastor in Puerto Rico. So we moved to Puerto Rico. I was there 5 years. Then he got a call to Chicago. So we came to United States, even though Puerto Rico is United States, but it's associated. It's not a full state, right? So we moved to Chicago and so on. Then I got married to a Chinese man. So after a few years, we moved to Hong Kong, lived there 7 years. So I've had experience with all kinds of cultures, and it is amazing. You can learn so many things from every place you go. It's a beautiful experience. So if you ever have time to travel, do it. But before you travel, get to know the culture of the place that you're going to visit. It will help you not to make horrible mistakes. Okay? So let's move on to, that's already 1, 2, and now to 3. We have to read 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 20. And 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 20, I like to always read the verse before if we're not clear with everything, or the verse after. Sometimes we only read one verse, we get a very limited idea. But in here it says, for though I am, where is it? 9:20. Let me read it from the Bible better. 9:20. Okay. And to the Jews, I became as a Jew, that I might win Jews. To those who are under the law, as under the law, that I might win those who are under the law. Okay, so this is simple, right? If you are a Jew, if you have Jewish friends, that you try to get to be like them, or to get to know them, right? But before that, it says, verse 19, for though I am free from all men, I have made myself a servant to all, that I might win the more. So it's not that you just become like them to be like them, but you learn about them, you socialize with them, so that you can influence them towards God, or towards what you believe to be the right teachings, right? Because the Jews had a lot of faults in their beliefs. They thought that they were the only people, the only children of God, right? The chosen, they were the chosen. So when he talks about this, it's telling us, be careful, be like them, just so that you understand them, and then you'll be able to teach the what you believe to be more inclusive. Yes. Then we go to the next verse in the Bible, which is Galatians 3:27, and it says, for as many of you as were baptized into Christ have put on Christ. Okay, so in here, putting on Christ, it refers to baptism. It's an intimate relation that happens between you and God. All right, it's like putting on your clothes. You most likely don't go around and put other people's clothes on, right? Underwear, never. Yeah, It's a very intimate thing. You put something that touches your skin. Okay, so it becomes part of you. When you go out, it's part of you. And so this is the relation that is talking about this. It says that, and if you are Christ, then you are Abraham's seed. This is the next verse, the 29th verse. And heirs according to the promise. That means that we become the children of God. We belong to Christ. We are going to receive the Spirit, just like the Jews, okay? It isn't just for one group. We are all here together. We are all the children of God. And it says here that God will accept you if you accept Christ. No one is better. We are all accepted by God. So we need to learn about each other, not to offend those that we are trying to reach. We are all children of God. It says here, if we, actually I wrote this, I put here, if you feel uncomfortable in a specific church because of the way they worship, maybe the music, I don't know, the amount of noise in the church, children running in and out of the church, there's anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, you can learn to adjust, or you can find another church that suits you a little bit better. Just don't think bad about them. Don't speak bad about them. Just go find something that is more like the way that you feel more communion with God, right? Nothing in the church should be taking priority over getting the message and learning from God. So, and in this United States of America, we are blessed because there are so many different churches. If you want to learn about the Chinese church, you can come visit our church, the LA Chinese. Well, not now because we are all Zooming the worship, right? But we can visit when everything goes back to normal. We can visit Chinese church, Korean, Filipino, Russian. There's all kinds of Hispanic churches that some of them have a majority of one part of the world. Yeah. So very easy for us to do that. And if you, the very last number 4, the last requirement is something that you can learn from a culture. And I am ready to teach you about Chile really quick. But if you want to do it with someone in another church, you can do that. You want to find a new friend. If you want to make what is a pen pal? You know, you write with someone from another country. Of course, from the church. I will not advise you to just start writing with someone from another country and you don't even know where that person is from. You will be putting your everything at risk, right? You never know who's on the other end of your computer or your phone. But you could visit a church that maybe you can find someone that you can learn from their culture. So that was Galatians 3:27. It says here, let me see, he's the only one who knows our heart. He accepted Abel's offering, you know, and did not accept Cain. We cannot, we do know a little bit in the Bible said that because Cain did not follow the requirements that God had given them, right? But even so, it's not for us to say, oh, this church is not good and this church is good. It's just which one suits you culturally better. All right, which way you were trained to worship God. Okay, so now we're just going to go straight to Ephesians 2:4. That is the third verse that we need to read and kind of talk a little bit about that. For he himself is our peace, who has made both one and has broken down the middle wall of separation. And then I like to also read the 15. Having abolished in his flesh the enmity, that is the law of commandments containing ordinances, so as to create in himself one new man from the two, thus making peace. Okay, so this is really talking about the Jewish and the uh, Gentiles. Gentiles was anyone else who was not Jewish or Jews. Okay, so there were two type of Jew and Gentiles. There was nothing else. And so in here, the broken there was a wall that was broken, and that referred, according to my Bible study in the Bible, it talked about a wall in Herod's palace that divided. So it's kind of interesting. And let me just read here a little bit in my phone. It says here, when this honor was written, a pathfinder generally had to look across an ocean to study another culture. And this is why I brought up also that in here right now, you can find any church. We are very much a one body under Christ. Yeah, we don't have to, there's not such thing as missionaries in other countries as much as when I was growing up. I remember a lot of missionaries from the United States going to Chile. And, but now, you know, there's so many churches there, so many pastors. They don't really use the missionaries as much, maybe to other places in the world, but you don't, my father was a pastor, so I would know all the missionaries that went there. I met lots of people from different places. So we can try and see how can we divide any barrier, if you see any, because maybe we don't see much barriers anymore. We're so used to being with other people. Yeah. Okay, so everybody understands all that, and the stereotype and all that we should not be doing, right? We should always get to know other people. Very simple, very basic. I just want to move on to number 4. Number 4, it's all about developing a friendship. It says with another young person, or it can be an older person. And I'm the older person that you can be friends with. And you can ask me all kinds of questions. Do you all have the requirements to follow or not? Yes? Okay. Because in the requirements, it gives you some samples of things to ask, like where did the culture originate? What language is spoken? What religions are prominent in that society? What types of food? What kind of eating habits are influenced by what is available in the country? And all of those kinds of questions. So I am going to be answering those questions, and you take note, okay? The rest you can just review and do it again. Okay, if you speak, you have to unmute yourself so I can hear you. No, no need, no me? You need to talk? No? No, okay. All right. So, where's my husband? Let's see if I can do it. He told me how to do it earlier, but where is it? I have Foreman. Can you please show me where the buttons for the different things that I had, like the foods and all that kind of stuff? I don't see them in the top. Oops. Oh, something, I touched something.
Are you sharing the?
I was going to share, but this one came just now. A little paper.
You sharing the screen already or no?
I don't know how to share. I want to share now. Okay, there they are. Okay. Not yet, okay.
So you want to show the?
He's the computer guy here, so. I want to show the foods. Actually, I'm going to show the Indians, the native.
Which one are we going to show? We're going to show the sharing, I think.
Okay, so we're going to share with you the pictures I have in the laptop here. Please tell me when you see them, okay? Okay, we can do the food, it's okay. Okay.
Actually, I think it's not all right.
Yeah. All right. Can you all see that?
Thumbs
Thumbs
up.
up or,
Can you see? Yeah, okay.
okay, 1, yes, 2,
Yeah, then yes.
yes, okay. Now, these are called sopaipillas. Sopaipillas is just like the Indians in here in the United States, they eat the fry bread. So we call it sopaipilla, and right behind that, you see some tomato with cilantro and onion. I think the Mexican had something similar to that, but it's a little deep, a little bit spicy because it has onion and some chili. And then the fried bread, you just dip that with and eat it as a snack, I suppose. Second, very, very famous and popular is the Chilean empanada. Each country in South America has empanadas pretty much, but they have different fillings. And
No,
huh? Sorry? Okay. And the Chilean empanadas have beef. It could be chunks of beef or ground beef. Onion, a lots of cooked onion. So you'll never chew that raw onion in there. It's always nicely cooked. And then has raisins. It has 1 piece of hard-boiled egg inside and 1 olive. You might have 2 pieces of egg, but always 1 olive. So, and it's really delicious. This one is just a potato, although this looks like a corn pie. It could be corn pie or potato pie.
Yes, potato.
Yeah, yes, potato, no, that could be other. So they both made very similar. The same feeling of the empanada is the same feeling for the corn pie, the potato pie. We repeat, make lots of dishes with that. These ones are the fresh bean soup. That's why you see the white color, and it's when they're fresh, when not they're not dry, they're fresh, and then it's really, really good. Okay. This is another design of the empanada. You see, some of them have the folding into sections, and the other one is complete. So this is just to differentiate between maybe spinach and beef or chicken or, you know, whatever you do, whatever you want to make it. This is the cazuela, which is always a big chunk of meat, potatoes, pumpkin, corn, green beans, cilantro, and did I say green beans? Let me see what else.
Rice.
And a little bit of rice. It's not softly cooked, just like put at the very end. So it has a little bit of rice. And this is the corn pie. And it's usually done in this type of plates or little, they can see here, right? Little, where here? little bigger than these, but always clay. Has to be clay bowls. Somehow the flavor is better. Okay, we're gonna go to the desserts, and the desserts have almost everyone has the same feeling, which is dulce de leche or manjar. We call it in Spanish, in Chile is manjar. manjar, manjar. And you make the cake thing, and then you put the manjar and then you roll it up. And then on top you put a little bit of powdered sugar and some coconut flakes. This one is called the 1,000-layer cake because it has so many layers. And you do one layer, put the manjar, another layer, more manjar, and it's so sweet and crunchy and delicious, but I think your sugar level goes up the roof. This one is called the, where's my brain? They'll come to me, but it's the same. The two little breads that are very flaky and almost no flavor will have the manjar inside, and then it has the little coconut flakes around it. It's the, it came to me when I was talking and now it left. Hold on. Alfajor. Senior moment, alfajor. This one is called the calzón roto. I don't know why, just because it has a hole in the middle, they call it the broken underwear. And so you fry this bread after you make the little, you cut in the middle and then you twist it inside out and then it becomes looking like that. You fry that and then on top you sprinkle some powdered sugar. And that's it. You eat that with, okay, so these are like the ceramics that are mostly with clay, dark colors. They have a lot of dark colors type of cooking things. And some of them you can put the fire under and then you cook on top, and it's beautiful stuff they create, like almost all of our Hispanic places. Okay, keep going. Again, and okay, these are some of the crafts. They do a lot of, we moved here and I still have tons of boxes in the garage, but they do a lot of housings, like little things that you can put on the wall. And this is one style that is very commonly in Valparaiso. Valparaiso is a place that there's a sea at the bottom and then there's mountains and all the houses are like going up. Also in the northern part, they have this type of housing. And in there, they could make the house completely out of cardboard because it never rains. The roof are always flat because there's no rain. And when there has been a bit of rain, it is a disaster because people's cardboard houses get all wet. Not yet, not yet. The housing, these are all kinds. Can they see the whole thing or not? Okay. These are different type of houses. They're modern houses, beautiful modern houses, as well as more typical traditional houses like this one here, Valparaiso. It's very colorful. Go down. That one. It's a very colorful, very unique type of houses, and people love to go there to take pictures. There's also just simple by the road houses, very simple. And let me see, here's another more Valparaiso. It has so many pictures because of the color. You see the sea in the back, you can see the water in the back. So it's really crowded. Let's see what else. I'm looking for something more. Okay, no, that's also Valparaiso. Keep going here. Chile is a place where there are earthquakes all the time, sometimes every day. And we've had some really, really bad ones. Somehow the country continues to flourish. They do build pretty well, but you can see that this type of housing is not going to stand much because of the base of the house, right? It's only sticks. There was a, keep going. Hold on. No, that's also Valparaiso. Too many of Valparaiso
This is
because
all, I think.
that's it. Oh, here. There's a cable car there in Santiago. Santiago is the capital of Chile. That's the main city, the most modern or most populated from all the country. Okay, I think that's it. Now let's go to the police, the carabineros. Yeah. Carabineros. Carabineros were the body that the people that we learn in school to love them. We learn a song about them. We know it by memory. Carabineros de la Nación. Duerme y no temas. Ah, no, right now I cannot concentrate. But the song, we sang it and we were so happy with the police in the past. But like almost everywhere in the world right now, people are not happy with law and with order. And so the poor carabineros have suffered a lot because now they have to tolerate all kinds of abuse people commit with them. And they are so good. I don't know what the country will be like without them. Right now, they've had the Antifa and all those kind of protesters destroying the country. Chile was one of the most wealthy or most, the best place in South America for many years, but now it has gone down quite a bit. So I don't suggest you going there right now. Maybe wait a little bit. But Chile has beautiful places in nature in the southern part, the northern part. Chile has the driest, not the hottest, but the driest desert in the world. The desert of Atacama. It doesn't rain there. It's so dry. I don't know how you will be if you have dry skin, if you can go there. Then it's the longest country in the world, not the biggest, but the longest. And it has a lot of very, very interesting special things about the country. It has, I think, the most different types of climate from northern to all the way to Antarctica. So you got everything in between. Okay, let's go to what else? The crafts. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is the national flower, el copihue. The copihue is like your angel's trumpet kind of flower, but this flower is crunchy, crisp. It's very, very hard flower, and it lasts for a very long time. Over a month is there, and it's a bright, deep red. It's a beautiful flower, and it's like a yeah, I know, but it goes, it climbs. It's a climber.
Right.
It climbs the tree, so it can be found in really tall trees all the way up there. You see the copihue. And these are some types of faces I just got from the internet for you to see. Chilean people can be all kinds of color, can be all kinds of hair colors. There was a huge group of German people. I don't like that one. Going to the other one. Yeah, they're fans of soccer, football, like almost every Hispanic country. I don't care for it, but if the Chilean team comes over here, I'll probably go and see it just because it's Chile. But you see, there's like the complete blonde with green, blue eye, white skin, maybe Let me see. You don't really, now you can see some more mixture with Africans or any like black colored people, but Chile was a very racist country in the past. They did not allow anyone that was dark in the country. When I left Chile, I was 12 years old, and I remember that year, one of the conference pastor from United States went to preach. And everybody knew that this pastor was black. The church was full because everyone wanted to see a black person and shake his hand. You have no idea how long it took for us to shake his hand. And once you shook his hand, everybody was talking. Oh, did you feel how soft his hand was? And it's white inside. And it was like, oh, it was, like I said, I was 12 and I remember just talking about this. It was something like from another world. Nowadays, you see people from all over the world living there, marrying with each other. There's no issues. Let's see, these are the Indians here, some pictures of the Indians. And here, natives, yeah, the natives. The natives are the Araucanos, okay? Araucanía is their group and or the area where they are, usually towards the southern part of Chile. And you see that little drum thing? That's the El Chuchunk, no, Chuchunque, I forgot. Okay, it's that thing is they are not only to make music, but they also call on whatever their belief, their spirits or the ancestry or whatever. And my father's grandfather was an Indian chief. So I have part of me from the Indian or the native people. As you, maybe you can see my, now my hair is white, but it used to be black. And a few features, maybe my big nose. And my mother was a white descendant of Spaniard, so a mixture in there. But I'm very happy to have part of the native people from Chile. Let's see what else I can show you. Keep going. This is our, okay. Let me see. Keep going.
You can see that.
You can see, okay. You can find all these pictures and things in the internet yourselves. And I think that's about it, about the people. Let me see, what else do we have in the titles, the groups? Or the Chilean. Okay, I'm gonna show you a video that I found it to be super, super good because it tells the whole story of Chile very fast. But when you watch it, you can find it yourself later on if you want to hear it again. And it's all about from the very beginning to the present. So let's watch it together.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mr. This is South America, and that skinny serpentine sliver of land is Chile. Now, let's see what's been going on, shall we? The land of Chile is packed with surprises. From the highest mountains in the Americas to the driest desert in the world, from lush forests to raging volcanoes and frosty southern islands stretching out towards Antarctica. It was this narrow strip of climatic variation shaped like a hockey stick and wedged between the Andes and the ocean that, several millennia ago, became home to tribes such as the Mapuche. Never united into a state, the Mapuche dwelt in scattered familial groups that hunted, fished, waged war, and worshipped spirits, channeled by a class of shaman women known as Machi. The Mapuche were fierce fighters and fended off the Inca from Peru, who were expanding their empire south under Tupac Inca Yupanqui in the 1400s. They battled it out around the Maule River, and the Inca did not expand any further afterwards. But little did the people know that as they were fighting each other, an unstoppable bowling ball was hurtling towards them called Spain. Spain would conquer a huge amount of the Americas, taking Peru in 1533 and marching into to Chile a few years later. However, Chile was no Peru, which is to say there was no gold or silver, so Spaniards still steadily settled it, just not so enthusiastically, with Pedro de Valdivia founding Santiago, the capital, in 1541. Chile's potential was in its central region, where the earth was rich and good for farming, but conflict with the Mapuche stalled and deterred the Spaniards more than anything. The Mapuche did not relish forced labor, and were not going to relinquish their land without a fight, and quite a bit of that occurred. The warrior leader Lautaro won several battles against the Spanish, and later Mapuche raids killed thousands of Spaniards and abducted many of their women, eventually leading to the 7 southern cities being abandoned. In short, they gave Spain a chilly reception. The country struggled on, isolated and ill thought of, costing more to maintain than it produced, and only being sent second-rate officials to govern it. In 1810, Chile declared independence from Spain, with a half-Irish, half-Basque general called Bernardo O'Higgins rising to prominence in the liberation movement, mustering Argentine support and defeating the Spanish forces on the battlefield. Chile's independence was attained in 1818, but the nation's political temperature remained tumultuous until José Joaquín Prieto took power in 1831. His conservative administration was dominated by Diego Portales, who was the one really in charge. What resulted was stability, economic growth, investment in railroads and education, but also resentment from the opposition, who tried several times to put liberals in power. Chile and Argentina won a war against Peru and Bolivia, and Chile also pushed south to gain total control of the land once and for all. Thousands of German immigrants were invited to colonize this area, and with characteristic German efficiency, they had it up and running and prospering in no time. Here we see the odd sight of a neo-Romanesque German church in front of a South American volcano. But Chile was also looking north, seizing a nitrate-rich slab of land from Bolivia. Both Bolivia and Peru declared war on Chile, and Chile beat them both in the War of the Pacific. Political divisions led to a short civil war. Modernization increased, border disputes with Argentina were solved peacefully, and celebrated with a statue of the Prince of Peace on the dividing line, the Christ of the Andes, in 1904. Meanwhile, socialism spread among the working class, fanned by the flames of neglected reforms. Politics got pretty rickety, governments popping up and vanishing like a live-action whack-a-mole. The Great Depression didn't help. Stronger ties with the US after World War II resulted in larger loans and investments, and some big reforms came with Eduardo Frei Montalva. But not big enough for the leftists, and his Marxist successor, Salvador Allende, had radical plans for his nation. Alas, some initial success soon ended, with food shortages, stagnating production, and strikes, several funded by the US, wary of incipient communist regimes. Still, health, housing, and education improved, but that all costs money. The so-called free lunches Allende provided for school children had to be paid for by someone, and the government was losing money fast. It ended in a military coup. Allende shot himself, and the right-wing general Augusto Pinochet became dictator, much to the delight of the CIA, who had supported him. Parliament was closed, unions were banned, and opponents disappeared, some deciding to take mysterious leaps into the Pacific from helicopters. Pinochet was every communist's nightmare, and many of them were killed, tortured, or exiled. By the 1980s, however, free market reforms saw economic growth. Pinochet lost the election to this guy, and since then, democratic Chile has become one of the richest and most peaceful nations in the Americas, with a very high human development index. But how solid are the foundations of all this is a good question, especially given the massive 2019 protests over the rising cost of living and other things. The biggest event to shake Chile since the gigantic 2010 earthquake that left 1 million people plus without homes. What looms on the horizon for Chile? This scenic land of song, this land of poets, attracts many millions of tourists every year, yearning to glimpse the many natural wonders, from Atacama to Torres del Paine, not to mention the strange, distant Easter Island, whose curious story deserves its own video. So that's it for Chile, and that's all from me for now. Bye-bye!
Are we connected still?
Are you done sharing, right?
Yeah, actually, okay, so in that little video, you saw some familiar things that I told you about Chile, yes? But we didn't talk about Easter Island, right? That's, like he said, it deserves another whole video. It's amazing, all the things that you can see there. Chile is a beautiful place. It's just not a good time right now since last year. So, as soon as I can, I think I will take another trip there. Last time I went with my parents was 5 years ago, and I had a beautiful time there. Okay, so if you have any questions for me, okay, breakfast, I'm going to tell you what we usually eat in Chile for breakfast, all right? Something like maybe cereal, oatmeal, and fruit. That will be your typical breakfast. Same as here, kind of. Lunch, you have a small salad to start, and then you get a little soup, and then you have the main course, which will be meat, corn, or spaghetti, potato, whatever it is. And then after that, maybe a little dessert or some fruit. Depends on, if you have money, you buy dessert. But if you're like me, you just fruit. And then supper, it comes also another, actually, they do have an once. What they call it once is like a tea time. Around 5 o'clock, people have a little bread with tea or coffee, so that for dinner time, they're not very hungry and they just eat whatever they feel like eating and until the next day. That's why the lunch becomes the main dish, because by lunch, they're hungry. If you don't eat a good dinner, by lunch, you're really hungry, right? Okay, the habitat, how many people in Chile right now? They're up to 19,000, let me see, hold on. Million, yeah, 19 million plus, and it's still growing. And like I said, the culture originated from the Indians, the Mapuches. The language spoken is Spanish and Mapudungun, which will be the Indian language, okay? From Mapuche is Mapudungun. The religions that are predominant, like almost all Hispanic countries, is Catholic, number one, and then come all the other religions equally. Our church is actually pretty well known because we have 2 universities in Chile. We don't have hospital, but we do have 2 universities, one in Chillán and one in Los Angeles, in Chile. Let's see. How it says here, how are eating habits influenced by the food available in the country? Well, we do have a lot of fruits, and you can find Chilean fruit in the markets when winter is here. Yeah, you can find the cherries, the apples, the peaches, the grapes from Chile. Very big in production with President Pinochet. He started to export all the fruits and copper, and so all that is huge outside Chile. In fact, the fruits in here sometimes are better than the fruits over there because they are for export, especially for export. But in there, we got plenty of fruits. I can tell you, my grandparents had a farm. So my best memories are going to that farm where we could milk the cows, where we could pick the fruits from the trees. We took the apples to the grinder in town to make the apple cider fresh. It was amazing. And of course, my grandparents will kill an animal when we got there. So we ate plenty of meat, egg, and milk. So you can imagine my cholesterol. Grew up with all those goodies. Cheese also, she made homemade cheese. I mean, the people in Chile, they're very crafty. They do a lot of stuff. You can see that I forgot to put the mercados. Let me see if I can share it. Mercado de Chillán. This is some pictures that show you all kinds of things that you can find in there. And there was I don't see them, but there was another one that I wanted to show. It was hot springs. Hot springs were really good. How do I move this down? Here.
We'll move on.
Just keep moving down. Those are the mercados that you can go and find all kinds of arts and crafts. And they are made there. They're not bought from China. Maybe the towels or t-shirts, yeah? But when it comes to craft, like wood and ceramics, and baskets, all those are made there by the people from the country. And then you can see all kinds of fruits and vegetables, fresh and extremely cheap. Let me see, 700 pesos for 1 kilo. 700 pesos is like $1.10 maybe. And let me see what else is you can see there. It's only that one you can see, right? A lot of wood. They use a lot of wood, a lot of copper, ceramics, and the leather of the animals. They make all kinds of stuff with that. Also, I wanted to show them where's the Chilean, the hueso, and where they dance the typical dance. The typical dance in Chile is cueca, C-U-E-C-A. And the men dresses with a little suit with a short vest kind of suit thing. Where?
Can type it.
Where?
Where? Search for it.
Where?
You want the dance?
Yeah,
the name
but
of the dance. Just type it.
a cueca.
Oh,
No, that's a different. Sorry, Chilean. Maybe I better put
No,
Chi-
way.
no.
Dance.
That was
Chilean dance.
yeah, Chilean dance. But that's Chilean, not Chilean.
Oh,
Yeah. Just go back.
no, too many else.
Okay, hold on. Chilean typical.
Dance.
Because many dance no typical. Typical is TI, right? No, TY.
Yeah. TY. There is.
Yeah, TY. Typical dance. And
The
this
name
is
too. Put the name too.
no, just that.
Okay.
I don't want the underwear again. There you go. These are the ones that I had. And if you can see, the girl is always very beautiful flowing dress that she holds with one hand as she dances. And
Can
she,
you share your screen? I'm sorry, we
Oh,
can't see
sorry,
what
sorry,
you're.
sorry.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's good because when I put cueca, there's a whole bunch of underwear in there. So I'm glad you didn't get to see that. Men's underwear. Okay, here we go. Do you see how she holds the dress with one side and she's always going with the handkerchief around, and she's like teasing the guy, and the guy just dances really beautiful with his feet. He makes all kinds of noise, and he goes around her, and at the end they just bow to each other. It's a very beautiful, cute dance. And most kids learn this when they're very young. At school, they learn it. Because I went to Adventist school, I didn't learn it because Adventist, we don't really do dancing. I learned how to do dancing or exercise later on when I was a grown up. But other than that, we don't do dances. So, but I think it's a beautiful dance. It's nothing sexual, nothing showy. It's just a very cute little dance with all these different musics and songs, and everybody cheers from the audience, going like, that's the clap that everybody does. It's not just clapping, but it has to be that rhythm. And so that's the cueca. Okay. And then now did you see the hot springs? I had
Just
one.
skip on it.
Okay. Okay, let's see what else here. Different cultural traditions from us is definitely 18th of September and Thanksgiving, because in Chile, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving. There's nothing like Thanksgiving. So that makes it different from United States. And the 18th of September is the Independence Day. The whole country celebrates this. And if depends on the day that it falls, you will get more days off. Sometimes they can get a whole week off because they love to drink in Chile, sadly enough, because they have so many grapes and other things that they make very good wines. And these are some of the hot springs. When I went with my parents, I only went to the ones I could drive to with them. But there are some that you can hike up the mountain and the volcanoes, and you can, once you're up there, then you can enjoy all these beautiful hot springs. Amazing. People love the hot springs in Chile. So yes. Okay, so let me see. Oh, and then so the 18th of September, we eat all that traditional food I show you, the empanadas, the pastel de choclo, which is the corn pie, salads. The Chilean salad is tomato, sliced tomato with very thin sliced onions. And they just have oil and salt, and they mix that, and that's the Chilean salad. So if you ever want to try Chilean food, there is a Chilean restaurant in downtown Los Angeles. It's the El Rincón Chileno. Has really good food, but right now they're kind of remodeling the place. So, but you can always call El Rincón Chileno. If not, there's one close to Anaheim, I believe, and it's called Chilenazo. That's the only two places you can find Chilean food unless you know a Chilean person and she cooks for you or he cooks for you. So the Chilean food is very homey, nothing special, nothing or too much, you know, fancy stuff, but very good taste, very homey, as if you were eating at grandma's. Let me see. The cultural, let me see, what do people celebrate? I already told you. Customs or tradition in the family is still the 18th of September. I celebrate with my children, already both married with their spouse. They come over and we celebrate with food. I put, if it's not on a Saturday, this past year was on Saturday. But if not, then I always like to put Chilean music and Chilean food, and that's the way we celebrate. The dresses there and here are the same. They're more dressed up over there. In Chile, when they go out to work or they go out to town, they always like to dress up the people with maybe a little bit heel and more dressed up. Like in here in the United States, I find it so much more comfortable, just tennis shoes or sandals and shorts and t-shirt, right? So in Chile, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't look very presentable if you went out like that, unless you look very much a tourist. Then everybody smile at you. Let's see. Identify at least 5 ways in which you are similar, and 5 things which make you different, and tell your attitude or feeling to people of different cultural background. Noodle has affected you. How do you feel about your difference? I think this is something that you need to answer, not me actually. And then if you want to attend a church where there's different culture than yours, do so. Yeah, I already told them, can come here. You can meet my husband from Hong Kong and me from Chile. 2 with one try. And I think this is it. Language spoken, I already said that. And for the rest, Chile is a very modern country, but when you go to the southern part, there's a lot more typical type of restaurants, housing, and people in Chile are very friendly. They will always try to help you some way or another. Now you have to be careful with some people that take advantage sometimes, but in the majority, people are really, really friendly and really, they will go out of their way just to help you get wherever you want to go. And so hopefully things get better, and after the pandemic, we can start traveling again. There's so much to learn as we learn from other cultures. We appreciate ours, but we also appreciate other people. And we have the opportunity to share the gospel with anyone, with respect and with the gift of listening, observing, and sharing our experiences back and forth. And so I hope you enjoy this honor. Let me see. You just have to, I guess, talk to your own director and You got it done? Foreman, how do I go back here to where I was, where I can see them? Okay, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something new. Do I have anybody here that is from Chile? By any chance? Nobody? No. Okay. Well, nice to meet you guys, and we'll see each other sometime in the future, I'm sure, in one of the meetings, okay?
What's the homework?
What's the what?
Homework.
Homework. The homework is what we just talked, the answering the questions. Number 4, only number 4. Where, you know, like what kind of foods we eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And, you know, dinner, like I told you, is very little, pretty much just tea and bread. And if you want to search another country, you can. Oh, yeah, the question at the end, actually you have from A to K. So if there's a lot of differences between the two countries, then you can identify 5 ways in which you are similar and 5 ways in which you are different from this culture. And how do you feel about your differences? That's it. So that's the question you need to answer, okay?
Okay.
So I have a question. So you just said A through J?
From A through J, yes. Number 4, when
Okay.
you go into the requirements,
Yes.
number 4 has from A through J a few questions, but we already went through all that. And
Yeah.
now all you have to do, which is J, is A through K. So if you want to do K, but A through J are the ones that really you should have covered. And J is if you found a lot of differences between the two countries, then you can write about 5 of them. But if we only have like 2 or 3, then just write those 2 or 3.
Perfect. So then, because on the worksheet, it doesn't have the letters, but however, I have the requirements, it does show that.
Okay. So it's
Um,
just a few questions.
Yeah, it's just listed. Now, so then for K,
Uh-huh.
it's okay if we don't submit that, right? Right now, because you're to attend another church? With the friend?
That's only if you go to another church, but right now we did it with me, who I am from Chile. So you either talk to someone from another country, like myself. I was born and raised in Chile. From my whole family, everyone is Chilean, but I moved to Puerto Rico, and from Puerto Rico to Michigan, and then of course. So I gave you all my experience in Chile.
Yeah, but I think number K is asking us to attend a church service of a different culture and observe the
J. I
church
thought,
service.
no, that's the last one, J.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
what I'm asking about, K. Yeah. So it's okay if we turn in our worksheets without completing K.
Yes, that's only
Okay.
if you wanted to do it on your own, meet someone there and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to do that.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
since this is a Spanish honor, how do you say good morning? How knows in Spanish?
Buenos días.
Buenos dias, very good. And now, how do you say at night? You say goodbye. How will you say that?
Adiós. No. I mean, Dios te amigo.
Okay. If you were to be in Chile, you will always say ciao.
Oh, chao.
Ciao. Yes, always ciao. And if you were to be in Chile, you will always greet each other with a kiss. It's not like, wah, like a, wet kiss or anything in your face. It's more like face to face, but if you're good friends, a big hug and a big kiss. But even when you are introduced to a new friend on the street, and you say, oh, this is my friend Pablo, and this is my friend Celia, and they don't know one from the other, I'm only introduced, they will say, hi, nice to meet you, a kiss in the cheek. More than in any other country. So in the Spanish countries. So that's something unique, I think. They have their own little accent. But they use all kinds of mannerisms to express themselves. I myself sometimes don't understand what they're saying. They say something for something else, and it's really funny, actually. So, and I'll show you what I had here for you to see.
Es Verratoli, pero esos son los Verratoli. El Remy, mira, son los de...
This is some Chiloé country people. This is the kind of kitchen that they will use to cook. All kinds of little boxes and things that they make, you know, for, these are the Chilean pesos. Arica is in the north part of Chile, and there's a fortress there, famous, the Morro de Arica. And here I have some of the Indians pictures, like in copper, a lot of copper art. And here, this is the whole country, the whole map. Very detailed, right? Written all the main cities in there. I love to, myself, I do ceramics, and I love to make things that remind me of my country. And of course, if I go to Mexico or anywhere else, I love to buy things that are native from the place. They're like so cute. And what else is I have in here? I have a little, hold on. See, this is a carving for the little, like where the carretas. And that's when they go to, you know, you bring the sacks of apples and you bring the barrel of the apple juice. And I think, oh, and I have some ponchos for you to see that I think are pretty similar to the Mexican one. They're so heavy and so hot. I would not even put anyone until it's super cold, but here's one, beautifully made by hand. These are all handmade, but in the market in Chile. And this has all the things that the huaso needs. This is to get the horse going. This is the Chilean hat. And these are the things for you to put the feet inside before you go up on the horse. And so they have all kinds of beautiful arts and crafts. So that's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And it was nice talking about Chile with you. Goodbye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.